Oh, homies, I am back. And, rightfully so. Feeling a little bit not at 100% as I could have been. Sure. Had to take a day or two off because had one of those funky little moments where I'm sure most of you who have been lifting for a while can understand that every now and then you have a slight, very small, specific muscle that typically isn't used very much that just out of nowhere will strain or pull for no other reason than you just been pushing it real hard and it just needed, it was like, hey man, time to take a break. Time to stay humble and go home. And the other day, before the workout that I was doing today, supposed to be a couple days ago after my squat day, I was taking an Epsom salt bath specifically for my recovery, and I leaned forward about half an inch to get the soap, and the muscles in the middle of my back, like right next to my spine, immediately it's just that it feels like your lungs just collapsed on you and you just don't know what happened. It's just that second of like 10, you're just holding 10 and 2 and you're like, oh fuck, that was bad. Yeah, again, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't even a pull. It was just a slight strain. But nonetheless, I tried my best. I went to the gym that night to feel it out, as I do, because at the minimum, the worst thing you could do is not try. And I went, I threw 185 over my head. It did not feel good whatsoever. And I was like, you know what? I could either absolutely destroy my body right now and then spend another 6 months recovering like I did last time, or we could just sleep it off for a day. You deserve a rest sometimes. And again, a lot of people are going to sit there and tell themselves that they're being a bitch and they don't deserve that rest because they got to stick to the program or whatever, and they just got to grind harder and push through the pain, and no pain, no gain. That's stupid. That's a big misconception. Pain is not gain. That is your body being like, hey man, if you go for the next day, you're going to be out of the gym for a while because I told you that you're going to get injured and you just didn't listen to me. It's your body's way of communicating with you. You have to listen to it to the extent that it needs to at least recover at the minimum, to the extent to where you could at least lift something. It doesn't have to be the same of what you wanted to hit on the program. It just needs to be relatively comfortable so that you can hit your lifts without actual pain limiting you. Because if you're lifting with pain, you are going to get injured very, very badly. It's not a recipe for success. I can promise you that. I've been there too many times. That's why I have that's why I have a bone growth in my left hand that limits my mobility. And anytime I take a day off, like I did this time, my left hand has to get back used to the Olympic lifts. It's unfortunate, but that's just the world I live in, and I make do. I do the best I can. I keep my mobility and my hand grip strength up, and we succeed, because I listen to my body. That is the big takeaway. You have to. It's not listening to your body and feeling out the weights to the extent of your ego. It's to the extent of what your body physically needs to efficiently recover and build strength at the rate that it can do in that present moment. And if you push past what is capable in the present, you ain't gonna make it far. I promise you that. Now you can try to do something that you're not capable of yet if you've earned that weight. Like how last week, for example, I benched I benched 295 for 3 sets of 4 on pause bench. Went great. That means I can add 10 pounds this week. So that's what I went to. And so there's no expectation. But yeah, I'm going to work with as high a hope as I can, because that's going to be what leads to the high rate of success, in that moment. Because sure, I could have not had it, but just putting my faith in it and allowing my body to recover at the rate it needed to, even if it's not perfectly on schedule, that's what's necessary in the moment. I got to accept that, even though I'm itching to go to the gym, got to relax. You've got to relax sometimes and just, to me, when your body's telling you, hey, you got to chill out because it's getting toward injury time, you can't look at that as a way of, I'm too weak, I messed up, I failed. You have to look at that as, I tried my best, this is what I'm capable of right now, let's now use this time wisely, and instead of sulking and staring at the wall and being upset about that kind of lift or that kind of physical, abnormality, let's put in our passion for the gym into something else for that day, you know? Let's give ourselves a me day for once. Let's stop worrying about all the extra shit. Because, you know, you just really got to do enough to progress at your own rate. I keep saying it, but I truly believe it. But anyway, before I get too far into the yapping, because I cannot stop once I get going, you know that. Snatches were okay. You know, the power snatches didn't feel as good as I wanted them to because of the rest I took. Normally, by the time I get to my power snatch and bench day, I have the 2 other days before that backing my strength. You know, the conditioning's up. I'm feeling great. My joints are all conditioned, and they have that pressure built up to where they can hold that weight over my head for that last day. And when I have to take a day or 2 off to recover, my joints inevitably get a little loose, and they're not going to be as comfy when they get the bar slammed on top of them, you know? That's just how it is sometimes. And so the warm-ups felt fine. Nothing was really bad. It took a sec to get used to the pressure because my body just really was not feeling it in the moment. But I also know through my experience that typically it's not a pain thing. It's just a slight discomfort that I have to push forward through to the extent that my body allows me to, you know? Because if I feel that sharp shooting, like, oh man, that's a bad pain. If it's just that little bit of like, let me warm it up, let me get the blood pumping, let me get the mobility going, then I'm fine. I just got to commit harder, you know? And I don't mean throw heavier weight or throw myself under faster and crash underneath as hard as I can and destroy my joints. I just mean committing to it harder in the way of my passion, you know? Just actually believing that I can hit this weight. And I was getting to those top sets. I deleted the video instantly because I failed my first attempt at 225 because I just was not in the mindset. I didn't care at all. I just was whipping it to whip it with no purpose. And I was like, all right, that did not happen. Let me completely reset, recover, and bounce back right now in this moment. And we're going to do it. We are going to succeed no matter what. Because I knew for a fact that I had it. That wasn't the question. It was just whether or not I was going to actually do it, you know? Because if it's there and you know you have it, because I promise you, you'll know. You'll be disappointed in yourself to where you will absolutely know that you should have had it in that moment. You just got to relock it back in. Walk away for a couple minutes. Talk to a homie, regroup, and get back on it. Because that's it. That sometimes you just need that second to breathe. You know, that second to come back to reality and get your brain really locked in on what you want to be working on in that moment. And I had 1 miss after that out of all 3 sets. It was great. I'm very, very happy for that. And the last set, as I love for it to be, last set was best set. You know, I was getting to the point where my thumb tapes were ripping, and I was like, nah, I shouldn't need that. I just got to lock in and do it. And I had to like kind of calm myself, and I was like, all right, listen, man, every time we do that, it rips all the way through on that last rep when you needed it to be together the most. And if you were doing a PR weight, you would have re-wrapped the thumbs. You got to treat it like it's going to be a PR weight every time, even if it's not as heavy as you think it is. And so I re-wrapped it, had a great last set, and who knows what would have happened if I didn't re-wrap it. It could have been completely fine, but it's the fact that I took that extra insurance and gave myself the highest potential of succeeding in that lift in that moment. The bench press. Oh, man. So fun. So fun. Pause bench today. I was kind of worried because, again, my left hand wasn't feeling great, and I just was tired, you know, took some rest days, and normally when I jump right back on and have a bench day right after, my shoulders aren't as primed as I'd want them to be because I normally have 2 days of Olympic lifting to back up the shoulder strength for my bench. And the warm-ups felt a little slow. I was like, all right, doesn't matter. My hand feels fine. I feel physically apt. I have to commit to at least have a chance. So I just turned the brain off, shot the shit with a random guy I did not know, was like, spot me, let's get this shit. And we just did our best. And the sets moved slow. I will tell you that. But this is one thing I truly, truly believe in that a lot of people think is just straight ego. But I am a firm believer in the last rep grunt. And I don't mean like a little, I'm talking like, you know, like a little, like ugly crying kind of grunt, you know? And again, I get that some people don't respect that, and some people don't think that that's just a little too much. But when you're putting your passion into that lift. And like, again, I only got up to 295 last week, and 315 felt pretty heavy on the normal bench press. So I know that this is going to be a make or break set. Not only that, whenever I do my 3 sets of whatever, it's the 3 sets of 4 is not what I'm working toward. That final rep on that final set is what sets me apart from my past self, you know? That's what makes the difference of stagnation versus progression. And that was that lift where I just was like, I could feel my shoulders burning, and I'm like, I have to let it out. Because it's not the fact that I can't do it without grunting. It's just that little bit of, that's when I know it's pure raw emotion. It's pure passion with no complexity, no overthinking, no wondering if my chest is going to pull or if my wrist is going to hurt. It's just doing it. Because in that very moment, you cannot be thinking about anything else other than pushing as hard as you can. And it gives me that yearning to do more, you know? It makes me want to come back and do heavier next week. You know, I earned those weights, so I deserve to be fucking happy and loud about it, you know? And obviously I'm not going to yell to the extent of like the whole gym's going to get pissed off with me. I'm not trying to get on people's nerves or be a nuisance by any means. But I hang out with a great crowd, and I'm at a gym where people typically are already about that kind of stuff. So it's just that little bit of that bit of edge, you know, because I treat every weight like a PR weight, or at least I try to. But I can't lie to myself or lie to you guys and not say how that last rep is truly emotional, you know? That's the one that really reminds me of what I'm here for. I tell people all the time, working out sucks. I love it, and I do appreciate and want to do every single rep that I do, but I don't want to lift the bar. I don't want to do the 45s or even 245s. I want to hit that last rep of that last set. That's the one that keeps me going. That's the one that I can let loose and just let it out, you know? It gets me going every single time. Every time. That's when I know that I'm in the right spot. You know, I talk to people about this all the time, but when you are just living life and it feels like not much is going on because you're just so relaxed and you're just enjoying what you're doing, you don't gotta change, man. People are always like, you gotta change, you gotta do... And I'm fully about doing something new every now and then if you feel the need to not be bored. You know, whenever I got a day off, I like taking that time to try something I haven't done in a while. But realistically, if you're loving life and things are moving the way you want them to, and you're just moving at your own pace, do that shit, man. Why not? Why overcomplicate it? You know, like today was truly a day where I was just like reaffirmed of what I'm doing, you know? That's my goal every day. It's not just to have that last rep of that last set be an absolute monster of an emotional roller coaster. It's to get to that point and love what I'm doing, you know, and know that I'm in the right spot because I know that that's what I wanted, you know. It wasn't just a goal or a fallacy or a falsehood. That's what I genuinely wanted and fought for and earned, you know. That's what I love about this shit, because it's my own effort against my own time, and I make it every single time. And sometimes it might take a while, you know. When my left knee exploded and I had all those issues all at once, it took 6 months to fully recover. And to most people that seems like I'm never doing the sport again kind of injury. But for me, I say, if it takes 10 years, I don't give a damn. If it takes 10 years, get me in there tomorrow. Let's get it going. Let's start the countdown now. Because if I can put in all that effort and still have room for progression, then it would all be worth it. And even if I don't put up a heavier number, if I'm making progress that is relative to my own positivity, who cares? You know, the number is an accessory to my lifting. I don't care if I never PR again. Of course I want to, and that's one of my current goals. But at the heart of it, I just want to be positive. I want to be with a good group and a good environment that uplifts me to do something more every day. Having this passion alone makes me want to have 20 more. You know, that's why I like trying new things and hanging around new people and just always moving. You know, not for the sake of obligation or feeling like I always have to be on some sort of grind set mindset, but just loving what I do in this present moment. Because why not? Just get to that point, damn it. When you let the present life happen, it starts moving, and you're going to wake up one day and be like, damn, we made it, and I didn't even realize it happened. Because you just left it. When you let it happen, you're not going to realize it. Progress is not visual in the moment. You're almost never going to see your progress. You're going to wake up one day in 6 months, a year, 10 years from now, and be like, damn, when did that happen? I didn't know I was like that today. And that's it. That's all it is. It may not have been perfect, but we're here, and we are succeeding to my own extent. And that's why I love this shit. So before I let you go, physically, wasn't perfect, wasn't at my all-time best, but I definitely brought it back, and I definitely put in my absolute best that I had today, and I'm still physically peaked. I am very, very happy with the progress that has been made. So, flat 9, honestly. It is just right on that cusp. Because I could have given it an 8.9 and thought that I didn't make it, but I really brought the bench back and really enjoyed that. And the form on the snatches were actually really good, and I did bring it back from that really bad first rep that you are never gonna see. So I'm happy. You know, that's a good ass day. But mentally, I'll give it a 9.35. It was really, it's been great recently, honestly. I talked to my mom today, and it's always so great to hear from someone that you know will be your ride or die. You know, that person that shows up no matter what. And it was really nice to get to hear from her and hear about how everybody else in the family's doing, because I've been seeing them more recently, and it really does feel like our families are becoming a bit more normal again. You know, we've had our past, we've had our tragedies, and we'll leave it at that, because I'm not going to get all into that now, but we've gone through a lot, and we've persevered, and even though it seemed like a lot of hope was lost, we have pushed through and become the best people that we could possibly imagine in this present moment, you know? And we're going to keep doing that and keep becoming better and better and better for the sake of not only our family, but for ourselves, so we can keep uplifting each other and just loving what we do every day. You know, it's great to get a call, and it's not, this person's causing these issues, or this is stressing me. It's just, hey man, I did this today, and I'm very proud of myself, and I just wanted to tell someone about it. I'm like, that is what I'm talking about. Right? All right, well, other than that, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hearing me yap about it. I know it was a bit longer today, but I had a lot to say, and I missed you. So I'll be back day after tomorrow. Again, although the schedule didn't go as planned, we have to get back on it now that I'm feeling physically apt again. So tomorrow, every day after my bench day is supposed to be a rest day, so my shoulders don't get too blasted. And then we'll be back for a heavy clean and jerk day, and it's going to be heavy. I promise you that. We're going to try out 295 for 3 sets of 2, and I'm very excited to hit that. I genuinely believe it's there. So we're going to see what happens and just do it. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let me know how your lives and lists have been going. I'll be back, and I love you all. See ya. Bye.